It is time to peer into our crystal ball and make some predictions about the world of Canadian finance in 2025. Hold on to your seatbelts, folks. This is going to be a good one. This is becoming an annual tradition, and last year we made a few predictions for 2024, and the community graded them. We received a score of 75%. Now the pressure's on to see if we can beat that number. Oh boy. That will be a tough one for sure. 2024 was a year about turning the corner. We saw the aggressive rate hiking of the previous year maintain the pause and then move into a rate cutting season, which will carry over into 2025. I can definitely tell you, it will be one of the factors helping to guide my predictions for sure. We also saw the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US and the election of Donald Trump, who comes into office with a much friendlier disposition to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. And this is another factor that will definitely color some of these predictions. I can keep going on about 2024, but really, we're not here for that. We're here for 2025. And I think it is time to dust off the old crystal ball and gaze into the next year. Speaking of the next year, a sub to the channel ensures you do not miss any 2025 content. I am really excited to get going. So without any further ado, well, let's do this. What will the overall look of the market be in 2025? One of the big questions will be if the Trump pump will impact the market as we move into this inauguration. I do believe it will to some extent, but some folks may just give him more credit than he deserves with the market. There will be other things going on besides the Trump pump that I think are going to be very positive for the market overall. I see a little bit of uncertainty in the market in January that will sort itself out as we move deeper into the year. Late spring into summer should be green overall, with a little slump in the summer and then a strong finish in the fall going into winter, led by tech as AI once again takes center stage. Let's ask that question. Is Canada going to see a recession in 2025? Canada's economy will continue to sputter along, skirting a recession in the first half of the year. A political change will help remove some uncertainty, and that will be a positive for the economy, which will absolutely avoid a recession in 2025. In the US, there will not be a recession, and their economy will remain strong, but there could be some shockwaves developing with that new Trump government. Okay, let's take a look at rate cuts. So in Canada, I am expecting to see 4 25 basis cuts in 2025, one in January, then another in March. Then we will pause until probably July, where we will see one more 25 basis point cut. Then the final one, I'm thinking about October. In the US, they will pause in the new year. And there will be 2 25 basis cuts later in the year, one in the spring and the other in the fall. Okay, what about inflation in 2025? I see inflation as being under control. There will be a few small rises, but for the most part, it will stay within that 2% target. Now, in the US, inflation may be a little stickier, but it will slowly come down over the year and be more in line with the US targets by the end of 2025. In fact, I don't think we're going to be worrying about inflation as we move into 2026. Let's now take a look and see what crypto is going to be doing in 2025. Bitcoin will break their all-time high in late January and set a new high closer to 120,000 USD. Later in the spring, I think it may even break that, push itself up to as high as 130,000. I am seeing a pullback and a mild crypto winter in the second half of the year that may take Bitcoin back down to about 80K. The crypto winter prediction, though, that one could easily go horribly wrong for sure. I still think it's coming, but it comes down to, will it start in 2025? Or could it get pushed out to 2026? That is a possibility for sure. Another big story I think that's going to be front and center in 2025 is the mortgage crisis. So regarding those mortgages, it's going to continue in 2025 as most of those very low pandemic rates come up for renewal. The banks have been setting aside a lot of money for loan loss provisioning, and that is absolutely good because they will need it in this year. Rate cuts will have helped some people stay afloat, but we will see record foreclosure rates in 2025. The banks will fare better than expected on the year, thanks to Well, thanks to those loan loss provisions. And just to throw in there, yes, I still think TD is going to struggle through most of the year. The best sectors in 2025 will be interesting for sure. Real estate and utilities will continue to dominate in the new year. They should both reap benefits from those rate cuts, and REITs will bounce back from that sluggishness of the last quarter and make some impressive gains in the second quarter of 2025. Tech will remain sluggish in January with slight improvement up, but it will be the sector to watch as we move deeper into the year and AI begins to show investors how it is making money. And the excitement of quantum computing begins to grow. When it comes to the worst sectors, this is not as clear cut for sure. In fact, with a market movement to the upside in the second half of the year, even the losers will benefit from that. I think both energy and telecommunications will continue to struggle in 2025. With energy, we're entering the year with a surplus supply, with a new government in the US that wants to add to that supply. In addition to that, I do see the war in Ukraine coming to an end, which will also help add to overall oil supply. Despite this weakness in energy, we could still see a rebound in the fall. The telecommunications sector has been in pain as it enters 2025, and I do not see that changing quickly. I do think we will get some recovery before the year is done, but it will lag behind for sure as 5G investment continues to throttle their growth for a wee bit more. Okay, everybody's always worried about dividend cuts. Regarding those dividends, I am not seeing a lot of potential cuts in 2025. However, there is one that I do think will happen. Before the end of the summer, I'm expecting BCE, so good old Bell Canada, to cut that dividend. I really do hope I am wrong on this one. However, I do think it would be a healthy move for Bell to make. Oh boy, now comes our Black Swan event. This one's always hard. So a black swan event is basically something you do not see coming. So I expect to probably be wrong as I try to figure out something that may occur in 2025. With the continued increase in AI, we will see more leaps and bounds in the capabilities of new models. And the real threat of AI taking more and more jobs will begin to bring the topic of a universal basic income back on the table. Nothing will be passed, but discussions will happen with more urgency than ever before. Prime Minister Polyev will be open to the topic, but many conservative backbenchers will keep the pressure on the party to keep the topic on the back burner in 2025. So, yes, I kind of did sneak in the fact that we'll have a change in government as well, but that's a no one. That's not a prediction. That's a downright absolutely gonna happen. Okay, so those are my 2025 predictions, and we will review them at the end of the year to see how I did. If you have any predictions, please drop them in the comments, as I would love to read them, of course. Also, keep in mind, these are just predictions, and as such, need to be taken with a grain of salt, as nobody really knows what the future holds, but it sure can be fun to take a few educated guesses. Let's continue that learning journey by checking out this video on bank stocks versus ETFs. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.